Good evening, this is CNN. I'm James Vale alongside Jake Bowen, and this is the Calculus News Network. Our first story tonight, tragedy strikes at the Conowingo Dam as a car accelerating at 2t minus 3 feet per second squared drives off into the Susquehanna River. A quote from him right before he left, provided by his neighbor: "Well, I don't know my velocity, but based on my acceleration, I should be fine. Maybe if he had taken the antiderivative of that function, we would have known that his velocity was t squared minus 3t plus c feet per second, and he may be still alive today."
What a moron. We now head to our senior correspondent, Ken Delasco, for a new segment called Calc in the Community, where we head out into the community to see how well other people really know their calculus.
Thank you, Jake. We're here in Bel Air High School asking random people basic calculus questions. Let's see how they got on. Hey, can you solve for the derivative of 2x minus 4?
4.
What is the derivative of 5x minus 4?
32.
Derivative of 10x plus 7.
11.
What is the antiderivative of 10x plus 4?
37.
Derivative of 10x plus 7.
Square root of x.
Antiderivative of 17 plus 4.
Pi.
Derivative of 2x.
176.
Derivative of x.
Square root of x.
Well, Jake, that was an epic fail. I'm here now in a different part of the high school to see if anyone else can answer these basic calculus questions. Hello, sir. Can you answer this question for me? What is the derivative of 2x minus 4?
2x minus 4, that'd be 2.
That's correct.
Thanks, I had a great teacher. His name was Dr. Stephen Vitale. Trying to go check out my trunk with me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go.
Back to you, Jake.
And now a word from our corporate sponsor.
Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Vitale, and I'm going to tell you today about a very, very close to my heart endangered species known as the derivatives. The derivatives are very, very small rodent-like critters, and they live in Michigan. That's where I'm from. And in Michigan, it just gets so dang cold in winter, and they just die sometimes, you know? They just die. So, you know, when the derivatives die, it gets really sad for everyone involved. And their sister species, the antiderivatives, they thrive on the cold. So when it gets warm in Michigan, the antiderivatives die.
Now, the big thanks to our corporate sponsor, Dr. Stephen Vitale, for 100% of this program's funding.
Our last story tonight, the calculus kidnapper is still at large, and tonight he's got our senior correspondent, Ken Delasco. Ken, how's it looking down there?
It's cold, dark, it's really cramped with the cameraman in here, and I have to pee.
That's interesting, Ken. If you could give me a rough estimation, about how long do you think you have to live?
I don't know.
Now, Ken, how exactly does this kidnapper incorporate calculus into his crimes?
You have to solve this volume problem for me. I'm going to email it to you.
So what is the volume of a solid resulting from rotating the region enclosed by y equals x squared and y equals the square root of x around the x-axis? This can be expressed as a fraction a over b times pi, where a and b are relatively prime integers. What is the ordered pair ab?
Well, it seems like this is a washer problem, so the formula we need is pi big R squared minus pi little r squared.
And as we look at the graphs of these equations, we clearly see a defined shape. We can also see which function lies on the outside of the shape and which function lies on the inside. Y equals x squared being the inside function and the little r, and y equals the square root of x being the outside function and the big R. We can then determine the volume of this area revolved around the x-axis can be determined by solving the integral from 0 to 1 of the function. Now, if we take the integral of, So we have the integral from 0 to 1 of pi x to the 1/2 squared minus pi times x squared, the quantity squared, dx. We can then pull pi out, so we have pi, the integral of x minus x to the 4th dx, which we can then take the antiderivative of, so we have pi times the antiderivative x squared over 2 minus x to the 5th over 5 from 0 to 1. We can then plug in 1, omitting 0. We are left with then pi times 1/2 minus 5 equals pi times 5/10 minus 2/10, which equals pi times 3/10. We are then left with 3 pi over 10. So left with the fraction 3 pi over 10, we look back at the problem and say that the volume can be expressed as a fraction a over b times pi, where a and b are relatively prime integers. Removing the pi, we see that a over b is equal to 3 over 10. A thus equaling 3 and b thus equaling 10. Therefore, the ordered pair is 3, 10.
Now, Ken, is this answer good enough for the calculus kidnapper?
And another happy ending for the Calculus News Network and the Calculus Kidnapper. I'm James DeMayo,
I'm Jacob Bowen.
and this was the Calculus News Network. Thank you, Dr. Stephen Bytel. Good evening, this is CNN, the Calculus News Network. Oh no, we're not cutting it. Can't cut the video. Alright, so
You can take that to the bank.
as we look back at the
Oh. I didn't know we were done.
Can you cut that part?
I didn't know you weren't done.
Cut it right there. Alright, now I'm gonna cut it there so we at least have a
Story tonight, the calculus kidnapper is still at large, and this time he's got our senior correspondent. It's so stupid. It's such a
Wasn't me.
stupid line. It's oh crap.
another thing. Another thing. Thanks to our corporate sponsor.